We're out here at Etowah Indian Mounds. This is Keith. What's your title here, Keith?
I'm technically the curator.
Curator.
My name tag still says I'm the interpretive ranger.
Now tell everybody, where is Etowah Indian Mounds?
Etowah Mounds is out here on 813 Indian Mounds Road in Cartersville, Georgia, just on the south end of town.
How long have these mounds been here?
The oldest that we can tell, this particular mound set started to be constructed around 1000 AD.
1000 AD.
Yeah, there were some older mounds in the area, like the Leak Mounds over near Ladd's Mountain, that were constructed around 300 BC. That would have been the capital before they moved up into this area for the Native Americans. So
and this is the actual site?
this is the actual site.
Wow. I mean, that's heavy duty. Okay, now what are the Etowah Mounds?
Well, there's several different types of mounds. There are funerary mounds that the elite people would have been built in, and then there's habitation mounds that literally build up over time as a house is constructed and falls in, and another house is built over top of it. And then there's what we call the platform or ceremonial mounds, and these are the mounds that usually your elite people lived on top of, so your chief priest or council buildings that your elders or your war council would have sat on. So they're basically giant foundations for buildings. And the taller they are usually represents the more important the people on top of those mounds would be.
And surrounding these are the people?
Yep, the people. We know...
Or the Indians?
Yep, the Indians. They would have lived on both sides of the river, up and down. Villages probably every 3/4 of a mile, half a mile apart, all up and down the river, farming. Fish traps that we see all up and down the river would have been where they were harvesting fish to eat, but they were also harvesting the fish as a way of producing fertilizer. They literally were the ones that come up with the idea of putting fish meal, in your fields to help the plants grow. They would take the parts of the fish they didn't eat and bury right there in their corn crops, and that would produce a lot of nutrients.
They live in teepees, or how did they live?
They actually lived in houses that we call wallendaub huts or trench houses. They both have a similar shape, usually square around. With the wallendaub houses, they would drive posts into the ground and they would weave smaller sticks around it, so it's like making a giant basket, and then you would pack a mixture of clay, grass, moss around it, kind of like the chinking in a log house, all around it. And as long as that stays dry with a good roof, you've got a pretty nice, cool house. The trench houses, they basically dug a trench in the shape of the house they would want, and they would put the logs in there and kind of lean them together over top of some other structures, and then they would cover that with either bark or grass. Those seem to be from two different time periods.
Were they a peaceful people?
Well, they had two chiefs. One was a peace chief and the other was a war chief, so they were peaceful part of the time and warlike part of the time, and it's probably both going on at the same time with different villages.
What happened to them?
Well, we know that Hernando de Soto come through the area in 1540, and a lot of his people off and on through the area were sick. We actually know that he left a member of his party that was very sick to the point he was about to die up in a place that's called Coosa or Coosawati. That would have been at a site about 40 miles north of here. He traveled through this area in August, so actually about this time of the year. There was a huge flooded area. The river was flooded. He stayed here for about a week, and the best we can tell, not too long after here, people got very mad at him, and so basically they chased him down. But as far as what happened to the people, they seem to have caught those diseases that he brought through, and then that of course in some cases destroyed the political system, and then you have infighting within the Native Americans trying to gain control. We really are not sure exactly what happened, but by the time the next explorer come through about 20 years later, this site doesn't even seem to have existed. So it seems to have been abandoned by about 20 years after De Soto come through.
Is it haunted?
Some people in the local area think it is, but the Native Americans, they've come out here and every time that we do archaeology, they do some ceremonies to put the spirits at rest. So it shouldn't be haunted.
This is Etowah Mounds. That's Etowah Indian Mounds or Etowah Mounds?
Either one. Different people have referred it to different things. This used to be, of course, called the Tumlin Mounds up until the time the Tumlins sold the property in 1953 and the state bought it. So it's either the Etowah Indian Mounds or the Etowah Mounds.
And everybody's welcome out here.
Everybody's welcome.
All right. Keith, everybody, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Hey guys, this is Christy from Extreme Fireworks, located right next to Academy on 441 East Main Street. Just want to remind you guys that fireworks are now legal in Georgia. If you didn't know, now you do. And we have all kinds of selections from 500-gram cakes to mortars. We have it all, guaranteed to be the lowest price store in Georgia. We're open all year long for all your firework purpose needs, weddings, graduations, birthdays, you name it, we got it, guaranteed to take care of you. Come down and see us over here at 441 East Main Street, right next to Academy.
Linda Cochran. Hey, Linda.
Hi there. How's it going?
Linda is kind of the what do you say? Expert or just historian? What are you?
I'm a Cartersvillian. Is what I am.
Cartersvillian.
I was born and raised in Bartow County, and I do a lot of genealogy, but I like people.
Okay.
So I know I'm a people person, and I like to do information on people.
Now let me show everybody. These are all. Are these marked, unmarked? What are they?
They're unmarked. All that they've got is the Cassville, Georgia, and then the date of the Civil War on there, because they don't know when these young men.
These are all soldiers.
Yeah, Confederates.
Confederates.
They died in the hospital over here. The only house they left when they burnt Cassville down, and it's a tragic thing because most of the men were away fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And there was only women and children here. And when Sherman decided he was going to do his march, at first he was going to come through here, but then he took a little detour. And we all know about Altoona Pass, so he had a lot to do with that too. But these men are heroes. They fought, and the reason they fought was for their families and for their land. These were mostly farmers and tradesmen and people that were just everyday people like me and you, that lived here. And they were all fighting, and mostly all that was left was the women and children here. And so when the Yankees came in, they just destroyed the whole town. Cassville at that time was very prominent. It had been a Cherokee, before that it had been the Cherokee Nation.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a court here, and they had different, I guess you'd call governmental.
Who did, the Cherokee or?
The Cherokees,
The Cherokee Indians, right here.
They sure did. That was before the removal.
Mm-hmm. Right here in Bartow County.
Right here, it certainly was.
Now, Cassville, how big what was going on in Cassville before the Civil War?
Before the Civil War, the Cassville, it was a big town. It was the mainstay, I guess, of Bartow County. Of course, it was called Cassville at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that lived here, I couldn't tell you how many they were, but the ones that lived here, they were just families, large families. during our reenactment that we do every year at the burning of Cassville in October, I portray Ms. Milholland, and her husband was he was a law clerk at the courthouse down here.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about it was, he decided he wanted to be a lawyer, and he was working towards that. But when the war broke out, he joined. And Ms. Milholland, one of her quotes was, "I had never had hard feelings towards John until he joined." And she was pregnant when he joined with her 5th child.
Mm.
And he sent her a picture from Atlanta with his uniform on, and he got to be a very prominent soldier, but he got killed. So when they brought, and this was before the end of the war, so when they brought his body back, they buried him on the other end over here. And when they buried him, and the soldiers and everything come in, they dug up his grave thinking he had a gun or medals or gold or something, because back then they would hide their stuff by burying it to keep the Yankees from getting it. And so she had covered his grave with slabs so that when, that the water and everything wouldn't wash the body and everything away. Of course, this was before we had the caskets and things like that.
Yeah, right.
Vaults. So her home was down here close to the corner, close to the courthouse. So what she did was, when they burned her home, they killed her hog. She had no food for her children. Her oldest child was, I think he was 14, and they called him Bud. Well, they didn't have any place to go, so they came to the cemetery. She took an old quilt, made a lean-to over his grave, and those children slept in that lean-to. Now, we're talking about October, November. We're talking about cold, wet weather is what we're talking about. And we think homeless people have it hard,
Sure.
But that's just basically what everybody up here was, homeless. The Yankees come by in a wagon, and they were going to take the women and children up north. And she pulled out a pistol out of her apron pocket. She said, "You better get out of here." She said, "I've got a gun, I know how to use it, and I ain't afraid of no Yankees." She said, "I was born here, I'm gonna die here. I'm gonna raise my children here." And they left, and she stayed. And she did. She raised her children here, and they all became very important. One of them was a tax collector. I was trying to think. One of them owned a general store. They became prominent people.
Sure.
From what she taught them, raising them up. And Bud had gone off up towards Pine Log trying to find them a place to live, and he found an old Indian cabin up there. Well, even though he was just a child, what they were doing, they would shoot him as bushwhackers, and she was worried to death that Bud would get shot as a bushwhacker. They hung a boy who was probably younger than Bud from the courthouse steps, or the courthouse over here, because they thought he was a bushwhacker, and he probably was. Knowing back then how they did.
What's a bushwhacker?
Bushwhacker, you hide in the woods, and you wait till them Yankees come by.
Ooh.
Then you level your gun, which was probably a 22 or something. And you got to be a good shot with that. And he would they'd kill him, But they'd wait till they got close enough, see the whites of their eyes.
Yeah. Everybody, this is Linda Cochran. Kind of knows a little bit about everything up here in Cassville. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hi there. Welcome to West End Pharmacy. We're a locally owned pharmacy here in Cartersville. We're independent, not associated with any chains, located conveniently on West Avenue next to the subway.
We specialize in providing great customer service to our customers. Most of our customers wait less than 10 minutes to get their prescriptions filled.
We are located on West Avenue next to Subway, just east of Eagles.
We accept insurance. We have competitive prices for those who do not have it. Come see us and experience the best service in town.
SOS Mattress, best quality, best price, guaranteed. Where can you find a huge selection of high-end mattresses without paying high-end prices? SOS Mattress, best quality, best price, guaranteed. Where can you save 50 to 80% off retail every day? SOS Mattress, best quality, best price, guaranteed. We offer the lowest prices on the best name brand mattresses. SOS Mattress and Clearance Center on Highway 41 in Cartersville, 1 block south of Home Depot.
Hi, I'm Holly. Welcome to Reflection Skin and Laser Center. We are a full-service medical spa offering the latest technology in skincare. I am also the nurse. I do the neurotoxins like Botox and Dysport, and also the dermal fillers like Juvederm, Restylane, Radiesse, and I also do sclerotherapy for unwanted spider veins.
Hi, I'm Amy Cheek. I'm the medical esthetician here at Reflections. This is where I do aesthetic work like chemical peels, microdermabrasion, and microneedling.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, and this is where we do cool sculpting, the Ulthera, and we have an Affirm skin tightening laser as well.
Here we are in the laser room where we do laser hair removal, laser pigment reduction, laser vein treatments. If you have any questions about any of our procedures or products, please call us. All our consultations are free, or you could just stop by. We're located in the Weston Commons Shopping Center.
Sheriff of Bartow County, Clark Millsap. Good to see you, Sheriff.
Good morning, David. How are you?
Good. Congratulations in the primaries.
Thank you very much. We were blessed. We did good.
How long have you been the sheriff?
I'm in my 16th year, and after we go and vote for ourselves in November, we'll be 4 more years, so it'll be 20.
County in good shape?
County's in good shape as far as law enforcement goes. We're a little short-handed. We're hiring right now, so if you know anybody that doesn't have a criminal record and wants a job, just send them to see me, because we're hiring into the jail. If you've got road experience, we'll look at you and maybe hire you straight to the road. Things are going well. We've got some good, but we got some good applications now. Commissioner Taylor, when he bumped up the starting pay for the deputies, it really helped us as far as our recruiting stuff goes.
I wanted to ask you about concealed weapons permit.
Okay.
What are the rules on it? Can anybody get one?
You can go to the probate judge's office. It's a one-stop shop. You go there and they fingerprint you and they take all your information, run your background check, and send it off to the state, and the feds will do a background check too. If you're not a convicted felon, you're eligible to get a carry permit, and it's my advice for everybody that doesn't have one to go get one.
Now, if I can buy a gun, does that guarantee me being able to get a concealed weapon permit?
No, not necessarily. You can buy a gun if you had a dishonorable discharge from the military, or if you've been convicted of family violence and it was a bad situation. You could possibly be turned down for your concealed carry permit. You could possibly also be turned down to buy a handgun. Now, if you don't have a concealed carry permit and you go and try to purchase a handgun, you may be approved to purchase it, but you will have the waiting period while they do all the checks and all the balances and things like that now. And you can get a shotgun or a long gun the same day. Now, if you have a concealed permit and you go to an establishment that sells firearms, with your concealed permit and your driver's license, you'll be able to walk out the door with a handgun that day. So my advice is, I'm a Second Amendment advocate. I'm a firm believer in our Constitution and our Second Amendment. I defend it till the day I die. I want everybody who can legally own a handgun and have a carry permit to please go and purchase a firearm to protect yourself and your family.
I'm hearing different things on the internet or on Facebook about concealed weapons, and if you're pulled over by a police officer, and how to handle that. How do you handle that?
Well, see, here's the thing about carrying in your vehicle. You do not have to have a carry permit to carry a firearm in your car. It's like they consider it an extension of your home. Now, there are some rules to carrying a firearm in your car. If you have it in plain view, that's legal. But you need to remember the two-step rule. If it takes you one step of opening the glove box and reaching in and getting your gun, that's step number 2. Two-step rule unless you have it in plain view. You cannot have it under the seat. You cannot have it in the pocket of the door. That's against the rules. Now, if you're pulled over and you have a firearm in plain view, my advice to you is keep both hands on the wheel, and when the officer steps up, say, "Officer, I'm here, I have a concealed permit, I have a firearm right here on the seat beside me." That way, the officer, you've established a little trust right there off the bat, because that officer doesn't know who's he's approaching, doesn't know who he's pulled over other than what he gets back on the tag that he was called in. He'll know who you are from the call or the tag, or who owns the car. But my advice is, if you've got a firearm in the vehicle and you legally got it there, go ahead and tell that officer. That establishes that little moment of trust. Lets that officer back up a little bit, because he's not so wary anymore, because he knows there's a firearm in the car, but he knows you're not going to reach and get it.
So it's my choice whether I do.
It's your choice. Yeah, it is. I mean, you don't have to, but if it's in plain view on the seat beside you, and the officer sees it, and you don't go ahead and tell him, it's probably going to cause a little tension right there, just for a few minutes.
Okay, with a concealed weapon permit, when can I pull the gun out?
Can you pull it out?
When can I, if I'm in a, when can I pull it out and actually draw it?
Are you talking about in defense of yourself?
Well, let's say I'm in a convenience store and it's being robbed, or I'm just in a, I don't know. So when can you, legally, when can you pull it out?
If there is a felony in progress, or you feel threatened in any way, you have the right under the Constitution to pull your weapon any time. Now, you know, I don't need a bunch of cowboys running around here in Bartow County. And because, you know, I want everybody to get along. I want us all to work together to be safe. But if you're stopping a felony in progress, then you have every right under the Constitution to do that. But I don't want to get into a situation where everybody starts waving pistols around all over the place. You know, if you're going to carry your weapon, carry it legally, be safe with it. I want everybody to be trained in how to carry a firearm and when to pull it and things like that. That's why we offer Citizens Firing Range Day. As a matter of fact, we got one coming up on the 13th. It's already full. So if people will keep up on our website and our Facebook page, we're starting back this fall with our Citizens Firing Range Day. You come to the firing range, you get 2 hours worth of classroom, you get the active shooter. If you bring your weapon, we'll show you how to take it apart, we'll show you how to put it back together, we'll show you how to load it, we'll show you how to clean it, and we'll let you shoot till you don't want to shoot anymore. If you don't have a firearm and you're thinking about purchasing one, we'll let you shoot ours. You can shoot our handguns, you can shoot our shotguns, you can shoot everything that we've got. Well, I'm not going to let you shoot our automatic weapons. I mean, that'd be kind of crazy on my part, but I want people to be trained with them. That way you'll know, because you'll get the same training that law enforcement people go. So you will know when you can pull your pistol and when you can't.
Everybody, it's the Sheriff of Bartow County, Clark Millsap. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David.
Hey, welcome to Sixes.
Come out to Sixes on Friday and Saturday nights to see our live bands.
Don't forget to join us for Thursday night trivia, and we have a lunch menu every day for $8.
Hey guys, my name's Christopher Brown. Y'all come out to Sixes Tavern and check out our new billiard room. We're here Monday through Friday, open to close, and we're here Friday and Saturday night, open to close. We got 7 brand new tables. Y'all come out and check us out.
Hey, this is Joe Wilson, co-owner of Parnick Jennings Funeral Home, Cartersville's locally owned funeral home, serving all of Bartow County since 1977. The biggest difference of our funeral home here in Bartow County, Cartersville, is that we are a locally owned funeral home. We make all our decisions right here in the funeral home. When people walk in the door, they're going to meet the owner and know that we're making decisions on what's best for the families that have placed their trust and confidence in us and the needs of our community. One thing we always say to families that place their trust in us is ask a family we have served. We want people to know that when they come here for probably one of the most difficult experiences in their life, that they can feel comfortable with us.
You know, all our family actually comes to Parnick Jennings. You know, once we lose a loved one, we call on them because, you know, they really took care of us in the past. As far as controlling the funeral, the arrangements for the trafficking to the gravesite, everything went perfect and, you know, in order like it needed to be. And, you know, especially with a loved one that you lost, you want things to go like it's supposed to, and they really done a professional job at doing it.
Prearranging a funeral, it could be probably one of the most important things that you could do for your loved one. You have time to make those decisions in a calm, relaxed atmosphere, and you can lock in the price. In today's economy, you know, price is something that we have to think about. And by making a prearrangement in advance and funding it, you're guaranteeing that those prices will be there and you'll be protected from any future inflation. On behalf of myself and all the staff here at Parnick Jennings Funeral Home, we want you to know it would be our honor to serve your family during your time of need. Please call us at 770-382-0034.
I love Cassville because I love the cemetery.
So there's only like one Pokestop anywhere near my house, and it's like 2 miles from my house, and so I can never get any Pokeballs, and so I always waste them all because I never replenish them. And then so
you have to go there to replenish them.
Yeah, like you have to go to all the Pokestops to replenish them, or you can buy them.
What's your level?
I'm 18.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because I ran into somebody who was really good a minute ago, and they were 11. I ran into somebody else that was 17. I ran into somebody up there that was 7.
I don't play like a ton.
I don't know anything about the levels, but I just know 18 is one of the highest I've heard today.
The highest is 50. The cap is 50. So you can only get to level 50 right now.
You can only get to 50.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna.
What's the highest level you personally know of somebody around here?
30?
Oh, you know the 30?
Yeah.
How many hours a day do they spend doing this?
I don't know, but do you ever see that like article of that guy that walked over like 100 miles or something like that?
No.
And he's caught every single Pokemon in the game except for the ones. Apparently, there's a few that you can only catch in like certain countries. And he's trying to get someone to sponsor him to go to like Asia and the UK and stuff like that to catch the ones that are like local to the area. And so but other than that, apparently he's caught all of them that are in the game except for the 3 birds, you know, the Team Mystic, Valor, and Instinct.
No, I don't know any of these, but okay.
Well, there's 3 teams, and that's the Instinct guy that he was talking about, and there's Valor. No one likes Valor. No one legit likes Valor. And then there's Mystic, and it's after the 3 legendary birds. Yeah. Zapdos.
Wow.
And there's 2 other, I can't think of them, but they're Electric, which is Team Instinct, Fire, Valor, Water, Mystic. And and they're in the game, they're in the coding of the game.
Right.
They have not been launched, so no one has been able to catch them. And then there's Mew, who's also in the coding of the game, but they've only launched him a couple times. Like they dropped him for like an hour in like New York City, and then they dropped him in like London and the UK.
Right. How much time do you spend thinking about this game? I mean, at night when you're sitting around 9 o'clock, you think about this game.
I mean, I'll like look